was listening to a commentary about this kind of creation of that Vecna character in Stranger Things, and how they thought that was a way of channeling and giving face to evil, but really maybe it's the whole upside down. That's this evil dimension, and maybe that's an interesting illustration for your question. So I do think there's a both and with this, and that's just off the cuff. That's my opinion about that. Humans. Well, actually, let me put it this way. So people typically talk about the fact that we have three enemies. We have the world, the flesh, and the devil. So our flesh, being our human sinful nature, is something that the devil can inflame inside of us, especially if we're not Christians, which I don't think Hitler, of course, was a Christian. But the devil used that. He whirls it up, because the world's system, the world's speaking of our thing about beauty, the world is giving us messages that is in many ways anti-God, and those things get embedded within our hearts, and then the devil uses that to inflame us and to play our heartstrings. I mean, there's different examples of that within the passage in 1 Peter verse 5. I think that's how the language is used there. So we have a sin nature that we have to fight against only if we're Christians. If you're not a Christian, you're not going to fight against that. And so the world's system, the world's messages are going to get embedded in your heart, and then the devil is going to use that to play your heartstrings, so to speak, if that's a helpful illustration. So when it comes to Hitler, I think that his sinful nature for power, for lust, for greed was there. That's an enticing thing that people have a hard time fighting against. But was there some kind of demonic, satanic thing there? I mean, he did awful things, and so I have a hard time believing that there wasn't some kind of force that was inflaming his lust for power and for murder and everything else that genocide, everything else that he did. So I think it's a both and that led to, of course, one of the most horrific events in human history. So that's why we need to be people who bring God's kingdom into earth, to push back the darkness, bring in the light, and see as many people come to Christ as we can, so that they can fight against sin.